Oh.
Yeah. That was one of the good things about this whole, your idea of what's all. Yeah, I tell people I'm only 70.
Hello there. Good.
Check, check, check. Oh, oh, oh.
Huh.
Check. Check.
Okay. Are you ready? I gotta get Terry's attention here. We're ready. Okay. January 22nd, the Department on Aging Advisory Board, and we're going to call the meeting to order. And first thing on the agenda is the roll call.
Terry Collins,
Here.
Carol Zawacki,
Here.
Gloria Bortnicek, Russ Amo,
Here.
Jeffrey DeCenzo,
Here.
Bert Fenby, Ralph Tillotson, Carol Bolton, Chris Peoples,
Here.
Alan Dickerson,
Here.
Julie Hackett, and Robert Trevino.
Here.
All right, I think we have enough. We need the minutes reviewed from December the 4th. Looking for approval.
There are no additions or corrections. I move they be accepted as submitted.
I'll support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. Go down to Judy. You want to do anything else? Judy, I think we're going to put you up. Go ahead.
Well, welcome everyone. Today, Judy Bays is joining us. She is the director of the Foster Grandparent Program, which may or may not be what you think it is. So here's Judy to tell us more.
Okay, foster grandparent
You
program.
want to get in front of the microphone?
This one?
Is the light on?
Yeah,
Okay, here-
can you hear me?
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry, I have a loud voice. The foster grandparent program started as a nationwide program. It shows all the way back in 1965. Here in Lenawee County, it's only been running about 45 to 48 of those years. I personally have only been working with it for 20 years.
At all? Okay.
Yeah. It's 20. But the foster grandparent program is a program they started to place seniors in schools to work with kids. So when they started it back then, they placed the kids with special needs kids, the adults, and trained them. Now they're in any schools. And at one time, our program was big enough. I covered Lenawee, Hillsdale, Monroe County, and there was 3 of us that ran all these counties. And the funding comes from state grants primarily. And a lot of those grants have dried up, so now I just have Lenawee County. But I'm always training seniors to put them in schools. So here in Lenawee County, I am down to 14. The highest I've ever had was 38. So these seniors are out there working right now in schools. If Gloria was here, she would know because she was a principal at one of the Tecumseh schools. And the grandparents go in and work one-on-one with the kids. They're like a room mom. They earn a tax-free stipend, and it is now up to $4 an hour. And when I started, it was $245 and we thought that was a lot. We pay for all their background checks, the fingerprinting and that type of thing. They get 40 hours of training before I place them in a school. So they also get reimbursement for their mileage, which is the federal rate. It just went up to 72.5. Some of them take buses instead of driving. And I place them wherever they live. So I've got one in Addison currently. I've got some in Alexander. I got them at the preschool nursery before, the Adrian Training School closed. I had some there. I had them at Boysville. So through the years, it's wherever they live. And I'm always recruiting and finding these seniors and putting them in there. We give them an annual physical that our program pays for. And so my office is at the Department on Aging, as I said. And so the grandparents every other week turn in a timesheet. They get a little pay. And then, like at Alexander School, I've got 4 of them over there working today. And so they go in, and if you see them, they're called school grandmas. They don't take the kids home, they leave them there, but they mainly mentor the kids. And when I reach out to the superintendents or the principals and say, I have a foster grandparent, I'm training them, are you interested? They always say yes. Why would they not want help? And these kids can use help with anything, whether it's just role modeling or working with reading or whatever. My particular program, I'm in association for Michigan. And so there's a foster grandparent program in every state in the United States. We all do the $4 an hour stipend through the federal government under AmeriCorps, but it's not in every county. So like I said, I just cover Lenawee County, but anywhere you go, I've had people move further south or come from other states. And I tell people, I run the program the way I've learned it after 20 years, but other programs, they still do the same. They just go in and work with the kids. So I got a lot of statistics. You probably don't want to hear all that, but I still getting the state grants and I still do payroll and every other week and have to turn in monthly reports and quarterly reports and yearly reports and grant funding and a little bit of in-kind donations. So we have our meetings. I have speakers come once a month to meet and I provide them a meal. We do recognition and then they choose if they want to work in the summer. So if you see the grandparents out, we work a lot with the ISD and we do the pop-ups. We did eBite over there this year. We've had them at the library. We have them at Boys and Girls Club. So there's a lot of partnerships in the community that they work with. So.
Are they sitting, forgive the question, but do they go right into the classroom, like say, in a kindergarten class or something, and they sit right in the classroom or?
Yes and yes. So
Okay.
depending on which one it is, generally when I reach out to the principal, like I'll say at Alexander Shannon, I've known her for the 20 years, and I say, I have this grandma. We do the 40 hours of training, they shadow and they work, and I take them out to the schools to show them what a role model is. And then Shannon would say, well, I've got, 24 kids in this first grade classroom and they really need some help.
Okay.
So that's where they'll be placed.
Oh,
So that it was set up, like I said, years ago at different schools where they were kids that maybe were nonverbal or whatnot, but
Okay.
now it's just all the kids can use the help.
all the kids. Okay, Jeff.
Oh, so these are not one-on-one,
They can be.
but it could also be going into a room with a bunch of kids, 24 kids
And
thing.
for instance, in Alexander, they each have their own teacher and they build that partnership. So if
Okay.
you talk to those teachers, almost every one of them's had a grandma in the past because as you know, I get them as seniors. They have to be under the 200% of poverty guidelines to be in my program. So a lot of them depend on this money to help pay for things. And part of my meetings is I say, here's what we have, awareness, all the different programs that I know of, but
And then my other question would be, do the kids' parents sign off on this?
generally no, but if you know the parents, some of them know what the grandparents are. They just love them because
Okay.
they don't discipline at all. And they're non-judgmental. And, this little boy came in and maybe missed 3 days. He was sick. So grandma will work with him. At Madison School, they work in the STARS program, which is set up as one-on-one. And during COVID, those kids couldn't read lips, so they needed the help. And Brenda Betts runs that. Well, she just retired. Letty runs that. And so every day they come in, read one-on-one with the kids. They go back and we can prove with our statistics that we collect how much improvement they do. It could be just social, but a lot of it's reading, writing, stuff like that.
Judy, I've got a couple questions.
Oh,
You said the numbers. So currently, what numbers are we at right now that you have on there?
I only have 14 foster grandparents working.
So with that number, are you actively recruiting?
Yes, we did a big push this last year because my fiscal year ended at the end of September. So in August, September, Jen came in and we did this big push to recruit. And so there's posters and I did talks. I've been to a lot of Kiwanis clubs and such things. And I received 19 interested people.
Wow.
I interviewed 5. One started the training and dropped out and I didn't get any. Because to get these seniors to get out of their house and work with kids, these kids, some of them need more help than they think. And the grandparents, when I train them, I have males too, like at the Hope Center. And to get these kids to accept the help, they don't care what you look like, what your education background is or anything. But the grandparents, a lot of them, they're already in their homes. I do go to all the senior centers and try to get them, come join me. But yes, and so it's hard to recruit people like in smaller areas. I got one in Morenci, for instance, and the reason I got her was the principal called me and said, "Hey, Judy, I got somebody here already as a grandma. Can you put her on your payroll?" Yes, I can. And they have to do a minimum of 20 hours for me, but they choose their hours, choose their days off. Like at the preschool nursery, there's 2 of them over there right now under Angie, and they don't work Fridays. So they get built-in days off. And then when the schools close, I pay them anyway. So they're all being paid this week for not working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't want them out there.
Second part of my question was regarding the funding. Has that been sufficient amount of funding you're getting to run the program? Is that all from the state, or I guess I'm not sure, do we?
My
funding?
state grant funding, I would say, is supposed to be, I think the cut was 80-20, sounds about right. Yeah, Carrie's my boss. So the 80% and the amount, they tell us how much we get, and then we have to do VSYs, which are volunteer service years based off a certain criteria number. So you can picture the people that run a Lansing program, they're getting the free transportation, the meals, which they all eat with the kids. The meals are provided by the schools as in kind. So 80% has to go directly to them and 20% like overhead for me, which is harder than it sounds. At $4 an hour and mileage reimbursement. So I'm allowed to do recognition. So we do a lot of, this last year we had our Christmas gathering at the district library because I'm on their board, so they let me use the room. And we had entertainment come in and Bob Evans did the meal and they got their little gifty things and they did a gift change, and they're not poor by any means. These are just people that want to give back to the schools. So.
Go ahead.
I have 3 questions.
Barry, we'll get to you.
First question, what is the age requirements in order to qualify to be a grandparent?
55.
Okay,
And the federal government sets that up through AmeriCorps. We used to be Senior Corps.
okay.
We got folded in AmeriCorps, so we're competing for all AmeriCorps money federally.
Okay. Is there a minimum? I think I just heard you say 20 hours. If someone signs up for this program, is there a minimum that they have to give you a week?
20.
Okay, 20 hours.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to volunteer, how do they contact you?
Through the Department on Aging, I did bring some cards, but
Okay.
that's where my office is. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
I had one other question. What age kids do you work with?
Right now, like I said, preschool, nursery, and I've got them in Head Starts. When I started, Head Starts were everywhere. Now we just have them in the main one in Adrian. So that's like 3-year-olds because they're not allowed to carry them. It's a liability, and they're not allowed to change them or go in bathrooms with them because they're not state
Okay.
trained. The highest we ever had is back when Dragger was still open. We had some grandmas in there in 5th and 6th grade. But by the time students reach that age of 5th and 6th grades, they don't want grandparents' helps. But
Yeah.
it's different. We had them at the Hope Center. I had Richard over there for a long time. And, they just loved him because he'd shoot pool with them or whatever. So mostly it tends to be kindergarten, 1st grade because the kids are coming in and maybe they've never sat down. Maybe they in a household where they don't eat a general meal together. So that is part of the program. They eat meals with the kids. They don't eat by themselves. They don't eat with teachers or not staff. And so that's a role model thing.
She answered.
Your question got answered. Okay. I saw you raise your hand.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
So, yep, if anybody's interested, I did bring my nice little cards, and I'm always recruiting. I've been doing this program, like I said, 20 years, and I've never not been recruiting. Because unfortunately for me, people come and go. Like this last year, I had 2 foster grandparents pass away.
Hmm.
One of them, I was her emergency contact. She was not married any longer and she had no kids. And so when she passed away, so, that, a lot of that helps. I go, unfortunately, that is the age group I get. But just giving them, I've got 2 of them right now that are making car payments with this money we give them. But they love the meetings because the Addison grandma may come in and then she sees the Morency grandma and, the Blissfield grandma and the Adrian grandmas, and they just love seeing each other. It's a big social thing for them. And when I was calling them this week and they're all off, they're all driving me crazy because they want to be in school together.
Now, did you say there was an income requirement?
Yes, it's.
Could you go over that again?
Pop Ready, they sent it out to me yesterday. I already got 2026. It says for one person, and it's just income, not your assets.
Okay,
It's 31,920 you can earn and join my program.
and join the program.
For one,
Okay,
if you're married, only if you're married, you can live with siblings or kids and they don't count that as income. For a 2-person married couple, it's 43,280.
okay.
So, and that's just the income that I go by. And then every year I have to update it, just like the physicals I have to update and the background checks and there's a lot of stuff to make them safe. I have grandkids. I want to know who's in the school with them.
Beauty, one more thing
Hmm?
before we leave. Because we may not see you again, but I think you deserve a round of applause. 20 years.
Yes.
Sounds like you just really got a good handle on this and.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still working and
No, For
retiring.
some reason, it comes across that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do share an office right beside Carrie. So, and I don't want to talk out of tune, but Carrie's daughter actually had a foster grandparent when she was in school in Tecumseh. As I said, Gloria was a principal at Sutton, and just the partnerships, like Marge Ferguson, who worked at Daily Telegram, her mom was a foster grandparent. So now she's on my board. So it does come around. If I talk to 10 people, they'll know somebody that either got the help or it's in it.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
for doing
you're
what you do here.
Thank you.
Yes, I say the same thing he did. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
If I may add just a couple of things.
Go ahead.
So Judy touched on the funding, but I think it's very important to share that her program is essentially self-contained. There are very few dollars that come from millage funding that support. When she talks about how much there is, the grant fund from the state, this is a federal program. Judy has to follow all the federal rules. We get 0 federal dollars. We get all of our funding for the program through the state. So she has to do all the reporting, all the rule following for the federal government as well as the state government, but get no federal funds. So the threat over that is that if we don't follow their rules, then we can't be part of the program because it is a federal program. But the funds come entirely from the state. And then there is a matching fund, but Judy is amazing at utilizing in kind. She breezed over it like it was glass, but in kind is how we match those funds. That can be space that she's meeting in, that can be programming that might come in and offer that for free. If someone is supporting the grandparents, for example, she has an RN that comes in each year and does that physical piece, and she donates a portion of her time to that. So that's our in-kind piece. So those pieces together total most of our in-kind matches. The school support with providing meals for the foster grandparents, another portion of that is, in kind. So that's a good kudos to Judy that she makes that work with taking very little dollars from other sources to make that happen for that program. So
I don't mean to ask you another question, but you were at 3 counties at one time?
At Lenawee, 2 full-time employees at Monroe. And they gave us village money and all that, and our employee there, and then we branched to Hillsdale, because the state would give money. Sounds like a lot in kind sort of, but I got statistics which show they gave 50,000 and said, oh, you can go into Hillsdale. So we had them over there, Wayne Wilbur, Fran, we had them in there, and Jonesville, in front here, but no staff there, so every month I have to go visit everyone. And so we ran those 3 counties, and then soon after Tom left, Terry came in, our state funding is that year that we did for a while, I don't know what that was. We decided to let one of the 3 people go, then it was 2 people, then it was 1.5 people. Now it's me and Bill Terry's my sister, but he is my
Okay,
that's pretty proud of.
I'd say we're lucky. That's-
Okay. There you go.
Thanks again. Okay, moving on, we're down to your report.
oh, I'm supposed to have a report?
Well, it says that.
Well, I'll report that winter is hard. It has been a tough winter. There's been all kinds of bumps and bruises, but we're getting there. I think I shared with you that our van from Wellwise has arrived. It is on site. We have started to use it. It's been towed twice. Snow inhibited one time. If you've never driven one of those vans, the rear end is heavy and it does impact how you drive on snow. And that they turned a corner and it didn't, it just kept on going. So that was one of the incidents. The other, was a battery issue that we needed to have taken care of. So, that was covered under our warranty and there was no cost to us. And the folks over at CR Motors took good care of us and got that taken care of. So we were up and running again quickly and easily. The kitchen is rolling. The centers are running, weather permitting. I think we've actually only had 2 closing dates since the 1st of December. So that's attributed largely to our volunteer force who are still coming in and making that happen. To follow up, you heard, saw, encountered our blitz seeking volunteer drivers. I did not think to gather those numbers, but I will tell you, there was one morning Dylan came in and said I had 20 people come through the website overnight. Now, as Judy said, do all of them qualify and go through? No, some unfortunately said, well, I can only help you on the weekends or evenings and that doesn't meet our criteria. Or I'd love to drive for you, but I don't have a car. But in the big picture, I bet the Adrian Senior Center has added at least 10 drivers that are making a regular commitment to doing that. It's making a difference. When we can say at the beginning of the week, we have 5 openings and not 50, that's huge. And making a true impact on how we're doing. It has benefited our outlying. I know Onstead had an enormous amount of volunteers, and those volunteers actually, when she met her capacity, came back and graciously offered to help us in Adrian, and that's amazing. Our Tecumseh Center benefited. She has had no less than 10 new drivers come through. Some only prefer to be volunteers. Some found out there was a senior center because of this and are actually assisting at the senior center rather than driving. So that's a benefit. So those are all great things. Addison right now, I think, could still utilize some additional support. But other than that, it's starting to feel doable again. And so we're very grateful for our community and what has happened and how many have stepped up. Some are past drivers that came back and some are brand new. And it's always interesting to hear their story as to why they felt called. Many have had some connection with the home delivered meal program through family or personal in the past. So that's good to know that they're making connections to us out there.
What is the feedback with, I know Gloria had made mention about difficulty packaging when you're delivering foods. What, in the last month with the influx of drivers, what is the feedback on how those meals are packaged and brought to the door?
I have not had feedback. Sometimes it's easier when that's all you've ever known
Yeah,
to adjust in than those that we've asked. And I've said it before, we've asked for a lot of change over this time period.
Okay.
There's been a lot of change.
Jeff's got some things to say about that, I believe, and Dylan met, but go ahead, Terry, what's your question?
But we had a thing we called a meet and greet the other night. It was Kim Murphy and myself met with citizens of Adrian, my constituency. Each commissioner is doing that in their district now with the county administrator. And unfortunately, I didn't get the lady's name, but there was a lady that works in the kitchen and has helped a couple of times driving. And if you need a cheerleader, you got one. This lady could not say enough about the new program, how it operates, what it does, what it's done for the people. In fact, at one point, we kind of say, you know, we got a couple other topics to talk about here. But she loved it. She could not say enough good about it.
Well, thank you for sharing. I'll investigate who that might be.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna report back to you all about, I took a harrowing drive with Dylan one day, delivering meals. And I mean, the upshot of it was, well, first of all, we get to the campus in the morning and there's our director, Carrie Rebatero, in there hustling meals off of the shelves and into the bags and helping, you know, so obvious staffing. I don't know if you're still doing that a lot. You personally could. The only other thing I would say, I thought it would be hard to onboard new drivers, given the details of the delivery. And by that, I mean, if you have a driver who's been with you for 5 years and they know the ins and outs, and they probably know on some of their customers who gets a cold and who gets a hot and all that stuff. But if I was a new driver, I would want to say, here they are, they're packaged, they got the names on them, take them. And the only thing I can compare it to is after I retired, I made the mistake of helping Stephanie at the Maple City Floral Shop deliver flowers. That turned into a part-time job for about a year. But you know, it was, here they are, addresses on them. And I thought, and it was just the first, you know, my one day doing it or watching Dylan do it. I just thought there was a lot of assembly in the truck of putting this together with that. And I don't know, how long does it take to acclimate a new driver to all the ins and outs? Not as long as I think, or?
You know, and believe me, over the last 6 weeks, I've had a lot of conversations. I think probably one of the best parts is that we've done that in stages. Most of them have had some kind of connection with myself or Dylan or one of the other, I'll say office staff, just because we're consistently available to answer the phone, to describe what it is before they even make an agreement. There's been a number of people who've done things like you did, Jeff, with that ride along and rode with someone else to explore it, understand it. And there have been individuals who jumped right in, bravely said, I got this, stumbled, and came out of it and said, you know what? I understand it now and I got it. And that's sometimes just that growth piece.
The best part, what I thought was good is that, because people don't always know how to route their route, how to put it in order. And when you pick up that list, it's already in a logical sequence of you go here, go there, go here, go there. So it ends up being a nice route. I like that. I could just see how a brand new driver would take a few days to get the hang of it.
Who's
Um,
your people that had some problems, right?
They did, and I haven't, I told them that the individuals that brought that to me and told them that, you know, that it was gonna be or is going to be monitored, and the information that you sent, you know, back with that. The church where I attend, I think we're on, I think the last Friday of February and first week in March, or that timeframe, I should say, for 2 weeks. Hopefully that Thursday and Friday that week, it will be. So I'll have a better handle on it to where I'll actually be able to see exactly what it is. So it's kind of, I think that it's, as you said, change is inevitable. Some people embrace it, find out that it maybe is different or more difficult than what it is. But I think that it is always something that we may need to keep on our radars to see where we can
Sure.
better do that assembly or whatever the case may be, because like I said, we had the blitz and got people to come in, you know, being new, it's a new system, they'll pick it up and run with it. But if it was someone who had been doing it a lot, that's where the stumbling comes from. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
And I understand that with me suggesting that, it'd be nice if they were all set to go and that we're talking staffing at the campus to have somebody doing that. It's a bit of work, but, other than that, like I say, it doesn't strike me as the kind of job where somebody could walk in first day and give me that route and I'll go do it. I mean, there are going to be several mistakes regardless of how confident they are. So other than that, it's there, you know, I think if you've never done any kind of delivery before, the hard part is jumping in and out of the car, especially in the cold weather. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just, you know, you're pretty wiped out by the time that's done. And so I just, you know, I hope we have enough people. And I think one of the things you mentioned back in December is that we have a lot of people go south after Christmas. So are we still missing some snowbirds, and will they come back, we think, in April or?
We still have a significant number of people who, yes,
Okay.
travel in the winter. We also have those individuals that we talked about that really kind of set us in that are having long-term health concerns, are continuing to keep in touch with us and say, yes, I please make sure my route is there when I come back, because I'm coming back.
Yeah. And the last thing I would mention, I think the other challenge, which Dylan obviously handled because he knew the route, but like with any kind of delivery activity, the numbering on houses is inconsistent. So you
Can't-
pull up to a house and I think this is the one, and you know, Dylan was, no, you got to go around the back porch and you know, it's back there. So I think that's, and I don't know, it'd be nice if you had some kind of mark on the house or some kind of little yard sign next to the porch or something.
We've had those conversations.
Yeah,
Then you identify that individual as homebound.
Yes, you do, don't you?
The whole world will know that. And is that a safety issue?
I can see that too.
Mhm. Because we have had exactly that conversation. But that's why a lot of people like to have that consistent route so that I know exactly where I'm
Yep.
going every time I go there. And Rob and I have had this conversation. Some people like those routes that they get out of the car every other driveway, and some like to say, well, I need at least 3 miles before I'm getting out of the car again.
Yeah.
And that's all personal preference, and good news, we've got all of those.
And then the last thing is the entertaining part is that you get the range of levels of appreciation. Some people are really happy to see you. Other people look at their watch like, where you been?
Where you been?
Give me my damn food. And, you know, it's a service that well, that's a challenge.
Go ahead.
So I've been doing the Meals on Wheels, as you know, for almost 3.5 years, and I did 3 days last week, the weather. This week I just didn't, 'cause my schedule didn't allow it, but you hit on so many points that are all true. I mean,
Yeah.
you run into the range of some people I never have seen because they have the cooler
Put the cooler in.
side. Some people, they barely open the door because their cat or dog's gonna escape. And some people are opening the door and you can tell they almost want to give me a hug. And they're so excited. Where have you been? I missed you a couple days. 'Cause I do, which you said, there's a few routes I dislike.
Yeah.
There's some routes I just chose not to because I don't like to. As far as the onboarding with new people, I do see a little bit of a challenge, but I encourage if those that are new to go in pairs. I've seen some of my old football coaches, they're,
Okay.
a lot of men go, husband, wives, workers go, and it does make it immensely easier having that second person.
Yep.
It's my wife and I do. She's the packer, I'm the runner. It's just how we do it. And we, like you said,
You have any people doing it in
so
pairs?
it works. I mean, it does work and you're somewhat right. I mean, that first day or two, you could kind of stumble, but if you do have that second person, simply put the GPS in, you go, and it might say on the notes, use back door, go through the garage, use, and that works. I mean, because even myself, sometimes I might made an addition, like they've now said, don't use a sliding door, even though it says use sliding door, that doesn't work, please use the front door.
Oh.
We do make notes and I assume you guys update them. Trying to think what else you said, that was good. But yeah, ideally, it's a two-person thing, it makes it so much more efficient and, I think you also made a good point with the new people, they don't know any different, Al, you were right, because this is what they're walking into. And I was there multiple times, sometimes just watching too. And I'm like, sometimes I just make small talk with them. Is it running good? And I kind of mentioned, I'm on the board and, oh, I think it's great. I don't have any complaints. So I was kind of almost picking their ear to see if I could get anything and I didn't hear any negative feedback. So
Yeah, and I mentioned the appreciation level just because, real quick sidebar, but when I helped Stephanie at the flower shop, the first day I helped her was on a Valentine's. It was like the day before Valentine's Day, and she was swamped. And I'm thinking, well, this will be fun. And I think probably a third of the women getting flowers that day were like, Rob thinks he can just send me flowers and I'm not going to be mad. I mean, they were like, take them back.
Take them back.
Oh my gosh. And I would beg them to keep the flowers. So, yeah.
I wonder too, if some of that struggle may be through the notes that are being, given out to the drivers from the senior center. When they're picking them up as to put it here, put it in the cooler, whatever, those kind of things. If that maybe would help if they keep them a little neater potentially, or make sure that they are updated or those kind of things.
And we do really try and hard. That's a ongoing,
And
every day.
The moving target.
And you say it's a blue house and you say it's a greenhouse.
Yeah.
It's tan and it's yellow. So that's always a little difficult as well, but every day we talk with drivers, we're asking what's helping, what's not helping. We've had some suggestions, some are great and some are not. But that's the only way we can learn. We've ordered some products that we thought would help and didn't, but again, trial by error. We are trying with just a few volunteers versus everyone so that we have a little pick of what that might look like. And we try and spread that around so we get a little bit different view of would this work or would this not work? So we have some things that are percolating to see if they would be helpful moving forward. And we as staff deliver, somebody on staff probably delivers 2 or 3 times a week. Judy is often my partner. She likes to drive and tell me what to do. So she drives and has the hot in the front seat. I sit in the back seat with the cold, and she'll drive to wherever we are. She'll tell me what door to go in if it's someplace we haven't been or I need a reminder, which is more often than not. And she will hand me whatever hot meals I need, and I've collected all the cold while she's driving in between. So I'm ready to walk out that door when I get there. I've collected everything I need. She will read the directions to me as I walk up to the house. So there are ways that we can help if somebody is willing to know more about it, adaptation. And that suggestion actually came from another volunteer, so we tried it and it works really well for the two of us. Not everybody does that work for, but my father-in-law used to deliver with his sister. They drove a truck. She also liked to make sure he knew what he was doing. And she would say, okay, you're going to, by that point, they were driving the same route. And she would hand him everything he needed as he got out of the door. So it's all about who you're with and how that works, but we are definitely going to tell you, 2 people is a lot easier than 1.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not doing it on a regular basis.
How many drivers are still needed, Carrie?
We have, are you asking me how many do we have to fill?
Correct.
I would tell you, this is me using memory. I probably have 10 openings on a regular basis a week. Now, there's always more than that because perhaps the regular Tuesday driver can't drive on Tuesday, or we know that the weather's going to be bad tomorrow and Goodwill probably will not deliver, so we'll need a fill-in for that. But probably 10 easy open routes without counting the people that we know are on medical or holiday.
Okay.
And some people just like to say, call me that day and I'll tell you if I can do it or not, but I'll do anything. And we have probably 3 or 4 of those individuals too.
All right, we get back on the agenda here. I think we just covered your director's report, or is there more you had more to do, right?
We haven't talked about any financial.
Yes, we haven't done that.
So you have 2 reports this month, both November and December. I don't know that there's any obvious, boy, I hate to say this, but they're almost normal. The one thing that Becky did provide me with some data, and so I'm gonna see if I can find my note here. We talked about how might food costs change with the new kitchen. In the first quarter, so December or October 1st to December 31st, between 25 and 26 fiscal years, food products was down about $23,000. So not a large amount, but certainly sizable enough for us to take note. I will also share with you that if you were to run a report for us, we would look really offsetting the funds for the kitchen. The $2.5 million were withdrawn from our account. So that is being offset, as it was not necessarily part of the 26 budget for us. But it was pulled out in December to finish paying off the remainder of that. So I'm just glad I didn't have to physically write that check. So those were the 2 notable things that I had to share financially. Chris?
How do you feel the donation, the suggested donation increase has impacted whether or not people are contributing, or how has it impacted the food cost?
You know, I don't know that I would not know if I would know how to monitor food
Okay.
costs as relation to that.
Okay.
Couple of things have impacted us this last quarter. Both Adrian and Tecumseh had, I'll say, very active curbside services with the temporary move for Tecumseh and the changes from the kitchen at the Adrian Center. the number of true curbside utilizers on those two spaces has reduced significantly. So, that is probably, if I were to analyze numbers year to date, probably is significantly different. We did look at that donation. Let me see if I can find that. And as a quarter, that donation is down about $10,000 between 25 and 26. So that can be contributed to lots of things. It's not a huge percentage of our, I mean, we're talking the difference between 65,000 and 55,000.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a coup attempt or a mutiny. It just could be a lot of other economic factors.
Correct. Correct.
Christmas, the whole, all.
And that's across the board. That's not just meals, that's across the board
Okay.
with all of our services, so. Mileage reimbursement is up, so that will make an impact in how much we are spending for meal drivers and medical drivers.
This is 72 cents.
72 and a half.
Oh, sorry, 72 and a half. Okay.
Mhm. Our system doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, all right, those were the things.
Okay. I have to see, you're pretty well where you want to be.
As far as I know,
Okay.
much as I remember.
And existing business, I'm down to existing business. I think that's what we were going to put you on, was the existing business. I will open it back and say, is there anything else that someone wants to bring up on an existing business? Until we get down to Julie's, will be next. Anything else real quick? No. We do have a new board member coming on, Julie Weatherby. Have you seen her resume? Everybody looked at her resume? Does anybody think she's not qualified? Very well, I think. I'm very excited to have her come on board. We have to, if I have this right, we don't have a county representative here today, just you. We get it approved here, then it goes back to the county to make a final approval. Is that correct? No. Terry. I'm sorry, I'm pointing over that way, but I meant Terry.
Russ, do we need to make a motion?
Yes,
Okay.
we need to tell the county that we approve of her, I believe, correct?
Except
Maybe
we
I'm
don't
wrong.
have a position for her at this moment.
Oh,
Oh,
Have to
we
make
have
it-
to make another motion.
You have to make an adjustment.
okay.
We have the ability to make an adjustment if this group sees that to be fit. Currently, Jeff is filling in a senior network position, but we do not have a representative from District 9.
Where he lives.
We could begin with a motion and a movement, recommended movement to have Jeff represent District 9. That would allow an opening in the senior network that Julie would be able to fill. Otherwise, our two Julies, I think, would be from the same district.
I make a
Might be,
mo,
she might be Gloria.
I'll make a motion that we, do that, that we,
Is,
do that for Jeff.
is District 9 currently vacant?
Correct.
Okay.
So Jeff is going to be moved to District 9. That, we need to take care of that.
Mhm.
The motion has been made. I need a second.
I'll support that.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That does that part of it.
Correct.
So she becomes, in my mind, it's kind of like the new Julie will be like an at-large type of person. Is that correct?
She would represent the senior network. Yep.
Senior network is the, okay.
Mhm.
So now
right.
we can approve her next.
Well, I will make an emotion that we approve her as to fill the seat of the senior network position.
I second that.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got 2 seconds and a motion. We're doing well. Okay. Again, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Got that, Dylan? Okay. Well, we're coming.
Jeff, welcome to your new role.
Yes. You feel different?
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Go District 9, yes.
there we go. We have public comment. I don't think there's a public. We can say hello. No? Any other board member comments? We've had quite a discussion today, but I'll open it up for anything else you might want to bring up.
Friends of mine, when they find out you're on the senior board, they come at you. So people in Morenci were appreciative of the fact that you went down and met with the director and tried to smooth some bumps out down there. And yeah, I think they still miss their old, this is the Morenci Senior Center director was popular guy. And the new ones had a little struggle, I think, getting accepted by some of the older people set in their ways, of which I am one. But some friends of mine to go to the Morenci Center a lot, yeah, so.
It is always valuable to have those conversations because as Dylan reminds me periodically, I actually am one of the few people that gets to see all the pieces. And not everybody gets to see that. So they forget that there are other parts of the department or what we're doing. And so it's nice to go hear what they're saying and hear and be able to share a little bigger picture of what's happening and how it's impacting us. So yeah, those are always good conversations.
Okay. I would just like to say that this is a very unique board. The new members that are coming on board are all active. I'm excited about what we're going to be doing as the years go by. So I'm very pleased with how things are going. Just as an observation. And with that, I would ask for an adjournment.
So moved.
Moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?